What if the seemingly innocuous flat close of the Sensex and Nifty yesterday, after erasing early gains, wasn't just typical intraday noise? What if that late sell-off signaled something deeper, a subtle but critical shift in institutional conviction that the broader market is just beginning to price in? This isn't merely about profit-taking, it's about a potential recalibration of risk and reward that impacts every sophisticated portfolio manager's tactical and strategic positioning. For years, India has stood out with its compelling structural growth narrative. We are talking about a demographic dividend, accelerating digital adoption, and a robust manufacturing push fueled by production-linked incentive, or PLI, schemes. These are powerful, long-term moats that attract global capital and provide a foundational layer of stability for the Indian market, differentiating it from many emerging market peers. Understanding these underlying strengths is paramount before we delve into the daily fluctuations. This macro backdrop supports key sectors like financials, represented by giants such as HDFC Bank, and core industrials, where companies like Reliance Industries and L&T continue to drive growth. Their underlying asset orientation, geared towards domestic consumption and infrastructure build-out, typically offers insulation against global shocks and provides consistent earnings visibility. But that's only part of the story. Even robust segments like these can face headwinds when the overall market mood shifts, impacting relative strength. The Sensex and Nifty's flat finish, specifically that late-day retreat, suggests a cautious repricing of aggregate earnings visibility. While individual corporate results might still be strong, the market as a whole is questioning the sustainability of premium valuations, especially for those sectors that have run ahead significantly without a commensurate increase in forward earnings projections. This leads to cautious optimism at best, or outright hesitancy at worst, among major funds regarding future returns. This isn't about immediate margin contraction for a single company. Instead, it's about the market's collective internal rate of return assessment for the entire index. We are seeing less enthusiasm for stretching on price-earnings multiples when the future growth trajectory appears slightly less certain or more vulnerable to external factors. This matters because institutional capital flows are highly sensitive to these subtle shifts, often signaling a rotation before retail investors fully recognize the trend. Now, let's look at the overarching management commentary for the market, government policy. The focus remains on fiscal prudence and accelerating infrastructure development through targeted spending. The RBI, our central bank, continues its data-driven approach, balancing growth with inflation control through calibrated monetary policy actions. This consistent policy narrative provides a baseline of stability and predictability, but the market also seeks clarity on its forward path and potential policy tailwinds. However, the late-day sell-off could reflect a reassessment of future capital allocation. Are foreign institutional investors, or FIIs, beginning to temper their aggressive positioning in Indian equities, perhaps due to global reallocation trends? Or are domestic institutional investors, DIIs, taking some chips off the table after a strong run, anticipating near-term turbulence? The next signal comes from how these large pools of capital behave in the coming weeks, dictating the market's intermediate trend. We need to watch these flows closely for confirmation of structural momentum. The industry context is crucial. Globally, we are navigating a complex landscape of sticky inflation and potentially higher for longer interest rates in major economies like the US. This impacts capital flows and India's competitive positioning relative to other investment destinations. Domestically, while consumption remains robust overall, the pace of recovery in certain discretionary segments is uneven, hinting at pockets of consumer caution despite headline growth figures. Sector-wise, IT services, represented by a player like TCS, faces global demand uncertainty stemming from recession fears in key client markets. Financials, while strong, are sensitive to interest rate cycles and potential asset quality concerns. Infrastructure and manufacturing continue to show structural momentum, benefiting from government impetus and private sector investment. The bigger question is how these varied sector performances aggregate into the broader index's resilience, suggesting the market appears to be pricing in a more discerning approach to sector selection rather than broad-based buying. This leads us to a bigger question regarding terminal risk. Inflation remains a persistent threat, forcing the RBI to maintain a hawkish stance to anchor expectations. We also have election-related uncertainty looming in the near to medium term, which historically introduces short-term volatility and often leads to a wait-and-watch approach from FIIs. These systemic headwinds, combined with global geopolitical flare-ups, could easily reprice risk across the entire market, leading to sharper corrections if not managed effectively. Furthermore, any unexpected shifts in crude oil prices, which directly impact India's import bill and corporate logistics costs, or further regulatory pressures in specific sectors, could impact corporate margins and investor sentiment significantly. While India's domestic story provides some insulation, it's not immune to these external and internal shocks. The late sell-off might be a preemptive signal of institutions hedging against these potential vulnerabilities, looking to protect gains. That's where things get interesting and where proactive risk management becomes paramount for portfolio insulation. Despite these near-term jitters, the multi-year thesis for India remains compelling for those with a long-term horizon. Forward earnings visibility, though selectively repriced, still suggests robust growth fueled by domestic demand and a growing manufacturing base. We anticipate a valuation reassessment favoring companies with strong cash flows, pricing power, and clear execution strategies over those banking purely on growth at any cost, implying a shift towards quality and demonstrable value. Upcoming catalysts include the next union budget, further PLI scheme announcements to boost domestic production, and clarity on global central bank policies, particularly from the U.S. Federal Reserve. These will provide clearer direction and could act as fresh triggers for market movement. We could see capital rotation into sectors that have lagged but offer structural tailwinds, like specific areas within manufacturing, defense, and capital goods, as institutional investors seek new avenues for alpha and risk-adjusted returns. So, what's the tactical takeaway from this nuanced market behavior? We are looking for breakout watch opportunities in sectors benefiting from domestic capital expenditure cycles, such as L&T or specific infrastructure plays, which show building structural momentum. Conversely, some high-beta consumption stocks or overvalued financials might warrant trim consideration, especially if global liquidity tightens further and rate-sensitive segments come under pressure. It's about risk repricing and relative strength now, rather than just riding the general market wave, demanding a highly selective approach to asset allocation. The flat close in the Sensex and Nifty is a potent reminder. Even in a long-term growth story, institutional capital is constantly reevaluating, constantly repositioning based on new data and evolving risks. To navigate these complex shifts and stay ahead with truly institutional-grade analysis, make sure you're subscribed to SR Money News IN, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and ring the notification bell for more insights that truly matter to your investment decisions. Your portfolio demands this level of clarity. Thank you for watching.